What's going on, everybody? Yep, another day, another morning, another afternoon, another evening, another opportunity to be great. What we doing? I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. Living life as you should. Yeah, 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 yeah. So what we gonna do is this, because like I, like I've said, like I've said, things happen for a reason. But you're looking at everything going on in these fake crypto streets. These crypto streets. These crypto streets, imaginary streets. People tell you when prices are down, you should have dry powder. That's stock market talk. That reminds me of equities, dry powder. That's Warren Buffett style uh, verbiage, dry powder. Having like access to basically money. Always have some bread on the side. Diversifying the building. What's up? Always have some bread on the side available. That's what they say, right? It's good to have some bread on the side. Some unleavened bread, right? These people are wicked. when you see when you see quote unquote blood in the streets, right? And if you put everything you have, like you put everything you have, and you did it in a way where you didn't just jump all in, you didn't ape in, quote unquote. You just over time, you know, you put in a little bit of money over time. You practiced dollar cost averaging to the point where now when there's blood in the streets, you know, sometimes you don't have any money to do any dollar cost averaging. What happens then? You gotta wait. You gotta wait it out. And then you always hear these forces, these entities, these people, or entities that have large amounts of money, they always have some dry powder to acquire, to buy, to scoop up all the stuff that the people are selling out of fear. And that's when they make the best moves. I remember Black Monday. Black Monday. Well, I think that was October in 1987. October, I want to say 19, like October 19, 1987. That day was described as Black Monday, where the stock markets tanked. Everything tanked. People were, I mean, it was a madhouse. I remember that day. I was a child. The news. I mean, we didn't have the internet as we have it now. It was no internet, no social media. Wall Street was just in shambles that day, right? Black market. Warren Buffett, they say, for every day for about a month after Black Market, after the Black Monday happened, every day for about a month, I think they say he spent $50,000 dry powder a day buying Coca-Cola, the stock, buying it because it was dirt cheap. He did that for about a month and became somewhat, maybe, if not, maybe the largest holder, the largest stockholder of Coca-Cola at the time, and didn't sell his shares. In fact, he kept acquiring because Coca-Cola, he said at the time, years ago, I stopped doing research, but I learned that, Coca-Cola was his favorite beverage. He amassed so much value by doing that, like acquiring when everything was down. Everything was all, red. People, it was despair, really, like literally blood in the streets because some folks couldn't, they took themselves out, literally. It was crazy. And so he took advantage, became one of the largest, if not the largest stock shareholder. And every quarter received dividends. He receives dividends every quarter. I think it was every 3 months. And as recent as maybe 10 years ago, the value of those dividends every 3 months, like what? Over $180 million worth every 3 months you're just getting just from dividends he was receiving. Like as recent as 10 years ago. I don't know how much it is now for the man, but blood in the streets, right? Like when you talk about when things are down, that's when you attack. That's when you acquire. If you have the means. If you have the means. What happens when you don't have the means? You gotta again sit and wait it out. Unless you do something else, like you sell, which is some of the most inopportune times for you to sell when everything is down, right? That's you lose twice. You lose in many ways. You lose in value and you lose the opportunity to earn something in the future should prices recover. You know, when I look at what's going on your man's fork of Ethereum, bruh, what can you say? Oh man, what can you really say? Use time. Time becomes your ally in a way. Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna if you're blessed enough to have some dry powder, now you're gonna make decisions. You're gonna acquire what you like, or you're gonna wait it out, or maybe even relinquish what you have. It's up to you. You know what I mean? It's up to you. But the thing about that's crazy, right? If you had to do it all over again as far as sacrifice, would you? You know what's crazy about that character, the founder? Who? Like, no one, no one forced him. Who forced him to create an internet presence talking about the things he's talked about over the years? Who was he even under duress to turn on a camera and get on the internet, right? And talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and you know trading and all these things. No one forced him. No one forced him. This is the fine line. It's a fine line that you have to walk in general, and more so online when you call yourself trying to be a savior of some sort or be a giving person of some sort, right? Because that comes with a huge amount of responsibility. Because should things not go your way, I'll let you finish that. But when things do go your way, you are the Messiah, you are the best thing. But should things go the opposite, oh, the witch hunt is real. You become vilified instantly, right? Because nobody forced you to come out here talking about you a giving tree. Who forced you? You weren't under duress. But see, people don't respect history. Gandhiji already coming with the smoke. Good day to you, sir. Gandhiji dropping. You see? When like minds, let me tell you something. See, Gandhiji already dropping the smoke. Cut to the chase, Wonder. This is what it is. Boom! 100%. 100%. He was upset because he was a Bitcoin maxi that missed the ETH run. That's what caused him to make. Exactly. Oh man. You see, you see, that's an indelible truth. This is about listen, y'all understand, like, some when I get in my right talking, I become super passionate about what I do. I mean, out there, oh, it's emotional. No, you gotta discern between emotion and passion. Y'all have to discern between emotion and passion because that's the truth. Folks don't like to think about history. They don't like to even go through and learn. Go back if it matters to you to find out why you are where you are. It might help if you retrace some steps and go look at some stuff. Go look up some things. Go investigate, right? Your man was a Bitcoin maxi. Cried on a stream damn near with another influencer who I've seen come up. When I came into crypto, I saw the influencer. He had maybe 30, 40,000. Now he's like up there. But he was on the stream with said influencer from Europe, crying to the guy, talking about, oh, Bitcoin, this and that. Bitcoin's not what he thought it was, you know, and Ethereum was doing its thing. And didn't want to believe in ETH, but had to eat crow and saw how you had better opportunities to make money using ETH versus BTC and said, oh, okay, I see the play. Yeah, nobody forced him to get on a camera and speak and talk anything, right? So you use the skills that you have. You use the skills to speak, huh? You use the skills to sell. You use the skills that to quote unquote market, and you prop yourself and put yourself on a pedestal talking about, I know what I'm talking about. Look at what I know. Look at what I can do. Believe in me. Right. Because you'll always have somebody somewhere want to listen and really believe in what you got going on. I don't care who you are. But when you keep talking and talking and talking and showing people that you know something, and you might have the ability a certain ability, right, to manipulate some stuff, and you're using the internet, oh, you could become a very dangerous person. You could become a very dangerous person, especially if you already had the history up to that point of quote unquote running a business, of quote unquote doing things that might have defined you as being some form of a scammer, whether you dispel that or not, or whatever. And up to that point, had some weird experiences. It's what it is. But it's a sum total, an aspect of who he is and who he's become. Yo, what I find disingenuous with your mans, and I'm not talking about my viewers, I'm talking about, the people. Facts. That's true. Fomo, what's going on, man? You in the building? Fomo's in the building. Like, that's true. He giving free. I don't even like to say the coin anymore, man, because I feel it's a curse. It's a curse. He cursed the crypto space like I just it came to my mind 5.5 years ago. This is what kind of token name is that? But you didn't give Ethereum holders any of that because he was salty. What was it? What was going on? You giving BTC holders the free whatever free claim because he was upset because BTC didn't do what you did, and he probably sold. You want to act like he didn't sell? He probably sold because you had to learn from your mistakes. You had to learn from your mistake. You were so angry at Satoshi for disappearing. Called him a bitch. Called him all kinds of nefarious things publicly. So angry at Satoshi. Why are you so angry? If your holdings are making you super rich, or do you have your holdings? Why are you crying on the stream with Ivan on tech? Why are you doing that? Crying. What you talk? You sold? You had to. How are you crying if you got the bag? And right. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell you, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Check this out, man. Shout out. Look. I went the way I grew up. I didn't grow up in the street. I didn't grow up in the street, but I was exposed to people who grew up in the street. Right. I was fortunate enough to not grow up in the street, but I was around street element. Period. 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 Maybe in my home, inside my home, in the apartment where I was raised, there were no street elements going on, but my neighbors, my floor, the entire building, the neighborhood, street, and everything that came with it, right? Everything that came with it. All the social ills you can think of, right? Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary next to anybody else's story, because I was learning vicariously, watching how shit goes and unfolds, how my peers at the time, I'm talking about, I'm 9 years old, 10 years old, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm watching how my peers who chose, maybe even by serious circumstances, who chose, even as children, you have a choice to do certain things, either to listen to your parents or not, to delve into the streets and deal with the consequences of whatever it is that you're doing in the street. Let somebody and you take that with you. You take those experiences with you, right? You take those experiences with you. Let me tell you something. This is why if you talk to people and tell them, I cannot have a normal conversation with anybody in my real life, for example, and explain to them the foolish mistake that I made sacrificing for pulse chain and pulse X. I can't do that because I have to have some kind of self respect. They will laugh me for the rest of my life, clown me, right? Oh, yeah, because I should have known better. I've seen worse things happen to people for much less. From being a child, being exposed to all the violence you could imagine, right? The hardship, the trials and tribulations that unfortunately heighten your senses on some crazy shit, crazy level, to show you, yo, if you do this, this is going to happen to you. If you don't do this, that's going to happen to you, right? We got fleeced so well just from listening to a nondescript character that most of us will never meet. Here, take my money. You know that meme? Yeah, here, take my money. It was that. So this is why I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, you can't tell me. You cannot tell me. Like, and this is the struggle that I have, right? Like, I'm like, yo, I should have known better, man. Yo, it's easy. It's easy if you're not careful to be tricked out of your situation on the internet, listening to some nondescript telling you about they're the best thing in crypto and giving tree and free claim BTC. We got free coin and this and that free claim. And listen, when a person is telling you who they are, believe them. The dude already told you he's cheap, but you're doing all these things. What you mean you giving up money and you're not supposed to expect anything behind that? You think that'll pass in the street? Like, and I'm not saying shit should be related to what goes on in the street, but this is human being. We're dealing with people. This is real life situation. You're talking about billions of dollars. People lose everything for less than $5,000. You're going to talk about billions, right? It's crazy. Crazy. Don't care about the manipulation. I can't see the chat right now, but salute to y'all. I don't care about the manipulation of words, verbiage to skirt regulatory scrutiny, because you still somehow, some way ended up having to be in some kind of battle with some kind of regulatory body, and because you're sneaky with it, someone realized or a judge realized, oh damn, like the power is limited. The power of that regulatory body was limited because they could not reach out that far to touch this mog. They couldn't do it. That's what the judge decided. Like, yo, you guys overextended yourselves in a situation that you had no authority to do that. That was the judge's decision. You know, jurisdiction nil. That you don't have, right? You don't have the right to do this right now. This is my decision, and boom. It got nothing to do with deciding anything he had going on was a security or non-security. None of that. 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 It was about the reach. Yo, you can't reach out and touch this guy because you don't have the power to do that. Because this dude is Where's Waldo. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The dude had enough, was bold enough to talk crap about some Satoshi Nakamoto. What is he doing now? Satoshi Nakamoto is a BITC. You're a female. You're a female dog. I might get in my I might get in my bag because I'm trying to. You know what I'm saying? Over here's the morning. I'm just gonna do me though. Called him up. You know, you abandon your community. This and that. And what's he done? First of all, you're not an innovator. You're an imitator. Respect being an imitator. That's cool. You're not an innovator. You're an imitator. But I get it. You put something and you package something calling it the first CD on a blockchain. They're cute. It was all marketing though. You want to engender, because when you're a person and you say you sold sex toys and car stereos and all this and that, there's something about you that you just like to create some kind of conversation, create some kind of controversy, right? Because you understand sex, drugs, and rock and roll captures the attention of people, right? So you want to stir up something, some type of talk, some type of do weird things, twerk in front of peacocks and do some nondescript weirdo stuff, just so it could stir up conversation, interest, so people could you could draw people to whatever you got going on. You could, jump on a stripper pole and spread eagle in front of a bunch of men, doing things like that right, doing weird things. This guy stir up some conversation like you're about something. Meanwhile, certain people could see right through you. Like we could see right through this guy. And we're like, and some of us, we've lived long enough to know, to discern between the truth and imposter. And sometimes we want to just sort of give somebody maybe a benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe I'm being too harsh. Let me see. Because I didn't like this fool in the beginning. I said, nah, maybe I'm being too harsh. The 10,000x thing sort of like maybe substantiates his claim, and maybe right, it affirms your stance now, like you're recognized. Oh, okay, well, all right, but you helped to manipulate the situation. I get it. However, but it happened. Yeah, can it happen again though? Can it really happen again? You're gonna try to capture lightning in a bottle twice, three times, four times. Can it happen again? See, what we also have to learn in many situations, and what we have to respect, is the process of learning. How we learn things. We learn things as we go along. This fool wants you to believe he had it all figured out, and then he applied what he already figured out to the world, when it's the opposite. You were going through some shit and learning, making mistakes as you went along. Just like up till now, you realize you did some shit that was way above your head. He bit off more than he can chew. And now you double and triple down on the foolishness of your controversy, of your creating distractions and smoke screen and shipping containers and weirdo shit. So people do not focus where they need to focus on. And that's really you. And you make it even crazier for yourself when you disappear. If you were really doing something that's legitimate, noteworthy, you called yourself, you called you the coin, your Ethereum derivative, ERC20 coin, Nobel Peace Prize. You said that, not the people. You said this is Nobel Peace Prize work. So why are you hiding? You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's all there is written in front of our face, hiding in plain sight. It's all here. This is why he's hiding, because you know what you did was foul. You see, people don't want to accept what he did was diabolical. I like that term for this. Doom, 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 Bismarcky, the star, the show. No, he's not Bismarck. Rest in peace to Bismarcky. He is not Bismarcky. It just the word diabolical remind me of Bismarck's album. Nobody beats the band. Nobody beats the band. Yo, man, that was a time. Listen, man, I digress. He ain't doing good. Like this, what you did, sir, wasn't this? This ain't it. Because you know, if you were in the street, you wouldn't last a day. You'd be devoured. Like who's? Listen. I'm telling you, who's doing this? Who's doing this and getting away with it? You know what I'm saying? Who's doing this in the street and you're gonna get away? You really think it's gonna? That's how it's gonna go down? A regular layperson, a square like me, pay my taxes, follow the rules. I don't break any laws. I'm looking like this was pure violation. But how? When I just willingly, on my own accord, said, "Here, take my money. Take my money. Take here, take it. Take my money." But you think a lot of people have as much restraint and will apply, right? Self accountability like me? You think people are just gonna? No, no, no. Everybody got their own levels and threshold of things that they can deal with on a day to day. Why do you think 3 years in May 2022, when Pulse was supposed to launch then and it didn't launch, you had this nondescript billionaire, so called billionaire, threatened the dude and said he had friends, his Saudi friends are unhappy and basically threatened this guy. You don't think people think about it? No, 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 no. It's not a safe, comfortable situation. Why would somebody tell you, like he said to the world, in a pre-recorded stream for a Christmas holiday? This dude don't have a religious bone in his body, but will tell you on Christmas that he's bulletproof and he's safe. In your mind of mind and in your heart of hearts, what do you think that means? What do you think that means? Why even say those things? Why even utter those words and that message? People don't want to think. People don't want to believe what their heart and their mind balanced together is presenting to them. They want to say, no, 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 no. That's just you being a hater. That's just you trolling. You're complaining too much. Why don't you just sell? No, no. If a person is safe, they don't have to exclaim that they're safe. Moreover, to identify that you're bulletproof presents that you're in a position of vulnerability. To describe your situation that, oh no, you're shielding yourself from attack. Oh, because you became a target. Whose fault is that? You put yourself in a position that nobody forced you to. So put yourself in a position where you have to live in your own prison. You don't need any law enforcement to throw you out anywhere. You on the run. You living in your own prison. That is that is that is damn near unconscionable. Like you talk about everyone's an idiot. You're the smartest thing in crypto. You're the smart, but you're the most wanted. You're on the most wanted list, and people are supposed to take this guy serious. And let me tell you something. People pretend like he was so transparent. Meanwhile, you speaking in riddles. You just decompensating. You watching and talking about the dumbest shit on Twitter, all the way to the point where you want somebody to donate a van. A person who got $6 billion, I'm sorry, 1.6 billion in 6 months, 4 years later wants you to donate a van if you have some kind of charitable organization, so you could donate a van and get a tax break. Who are you advising? Who are you fooling? You're not a lawyer, you're not a CPA. You're a regular somebody who did some clever shit on crypto and made a bunch of money. And so, at the expense of the people, because you have individuals who got in early, right? Because that's the name of the game too. The earlier you can get into crypto, the chances of you doing very well are very high, right? Because you're in early. You got a lot of people in the community that did the same thing, and they made their fortune. They made their fortune, right? But a lot of them realize that their fortune has dwindled over the last 4 years. Your absence hasn't helped morale. His absence hasn't helped morale, but doesn't think that that's a factor. So you have these talking heads, these mini me's, mini Richie Rich, mini Ricky Umars, who want to keep the fervor going because they need to eat too. They need to find a way. Oh, no, no, we need to launch this. Huh? We need to launch this project. We need to launch this coin. We need to do a sacrifice because this is what Richie Umar did. And he taught us how to do this. Let's do it too. And it works because people have launched sacrifices and have become rich. People continuously launch coins and grift people. This continues. This continues on a chain that's been active for almost 2.5 years. That's supposed to be the fork of Ethereum. You launched it thinking that it was supposed to be a friendly fork, something that's not confrontational or contentious, I should say, to Ethereum. Meanwhile, it was BS under the guise of, are we forking this because the S-load function was introduced from the Ethereum guys just to screw up everybody who invested in Ricky Umar's coin. Okay. Again, narrative, controversy, right? Creates interest, attention, right? Marketing, all of that. So is the makings of some type of perfect storm of a situation to inflate your value and deflate everyone else's bags and dilute everything they got going on where they have nothing. They really have to take their money and hand it over to you. And that's what happened in 2021. You're talking about a bull market that happened, right? Everybody's excited. Your nondescript Ethereum derivative is going up in price finally. Oh, look, it's real, people. It's real. Yeah, oh, it reached a penny. Oh my goodness, it reached 2 cents, 3 cents. Everybody's happy. So it's the best time to see how Ethereum gas prices were so high. And for you to use that excuse and say, oh, the S load, oh, we're gonna have to leave. We're gonna have to, fork. Forget you, Ethereum. But then act like it wasn't a contentious fork in a way where no, no, no. This is friendly. You guys are screwing us. So I'm gonna take care of my community. No, you're gonna take care of your bag. Your bag, not your community. You pretend like it's your community, but you know nothing about really community because we could see it in your eyes when you take pictures with people, how cringe you look, even in your smile. There's something just a little bit apropos. There's a deep dysfunction going on in that man. You can see it. So while you're telling people, oh yeah, no, no, we're gonna separate from this because the S load is hurting. These fees are atrocious. But again, remember, it's a bull market. People making money, so they feel good. So what are you gonna do now? Instead of them keeping their money, the ones who were smart sold, kept their money, and changed their lives. Bravo. The smart ones did that, right? This dude took the opportunity to say, oh, since everybody's feeling good, guess what? Give me some of that money. I'm launching a sacrifice. Just give me the money. Launch a sacrifice. Hey, 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 this is for freedom of speech. Because these people have been gatekeeping us, censoring us. What do you say? Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do the yeah, yeah. What other time could it not have been a better time to acquire $1.6 billion in 6 months? The first sacrifice raised, they say, on the leaderboard raised 600 million. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I got 600 million on the pulse chain. I got 600 million. You know what I could do? How about I? Okay, the decks. Do a deck sacrifice. Yeah, do a deck sacrifice. You know at what time too? How convenient. You do it in the end of the year when it's holiday time, right? Of course. Oh, like, hey, you guys, you didn't get a chance to drop 600 million to contribute to my 600 million pot of gold. Hmm? Each day that you try to invest and play this game of points and having no expectations, you get less and less and less. So each day the bonding curve goes up. So you're getting less for whatever you donate, not pay for, but whatever money you gave away, you sacrificed. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's gruesome, right? It's difficult, right? It's painful. Yeah, it's painful. But guess what? If you miss Pulse, you could have Pulse X. Oh yeah, when? Oh, Christmas. Oh yeah, Christmas. Yeah, yeah. How much do you think he earned that? A billion plus. Oh no, no, no. Maybe if it was after Christmas, New Year's. Oh, definitely before New Year's. Everybody's feeling good. Many people aren't feeling as good though. But he took advantage. Remember, the fall is when the coin went up 10, did its final 10,000x. So think about the right, the occurrences, the perfect storm, everything happening in such a way. You're like, oh no, oh no, I'm gonna take advantage of this. I'm gonna take advantage of that. You know, July, July, I'm gonna do the sacrifice of Pulse Chain, huh? And keep the fervor and mania going to the point where September Hex does 10,000x. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Keep the hype going. Keep the hype going. Still sacrificing. Okay, yeah, keep the hype going. Have the Pulse Chain Telegram group on fire, 24 hours a day, like a radio station. Everybody, oh, so happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep it going. Keep all the streams going. All the streams going. Even I fell victim to that. I'm doing streams now. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep the conversation going. Keep the Twitter popping. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep it going. Keep it going. Live stream. Yeah, everybody feeling great. Yeah, everybody feeling great. All through the fall, especially 10,000x. You're like, oh shit, he's the one. He did it. Oh yeah, it's unequivocal. Is undeniable, right? Oh yeah, he did it. Right, he's the one. Got it. Oh, definitely. And people sacrifice. Once they did their sacrifice, they sacrificed again and again. Yeah. The end of the year, of course. Another. So we're looking at a situation where you're saying to yourself, what is this? Where are we going? What's happening here? What's this? What's this? How do you remove yourself from this situation? Not even remove yourself from the situation, but how when I say remove yourself, like you can't, because if you in it, you can do a couple things. You can just relinquish what you have, keep it moving, or just wait it out. But you're looking at a situation unfold, right? These people want to make you believe that a shipping container filled with electronic devices that lands in the hands of rich people is supposed to convince the rich people to spend money on some pulse chain. Like this is the this is where we're at with it. Absolute insult of your intelligence, right? Absolute smack in your face. Like that's the best. This is the best that this so-called marketing expert genius can come up with, right? A community that's been talking about his coins for over 5 years, going on 6. The marketing has been crazy. What more marketing do you need? Like a sign on the moon? What more marketing do you need? Something on what? Like some kind of satellite? Like what are you doing? Like you want to let the aliens in the world in space know of what you got going? What more marketing? You've had all kinds of stuff going on. Forget about just blogging and streaming. People did all kinds of stuff to garner attention, and it fell flat. It's one of those things where, like in the music industry, right? When you spend so much money on an artist and their project, and you realize when the artist finally comes out with their debut album, and they climb the charts, maybe even reach number one, and you're like, oh, we got one. When that hype dissipates, oh man, no, we got to go for another round. We got to go for another round. We got to invest in this artist too. Let's give him a bigger budget. Let's give him 1.6 billion. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's because you made a lot of money the first go round. Yeah, we helped you with the machine, and you did your part, and you recouped. You recouped very well, and we made money. We made more money than you, but you recouped. Okay, but okay, you recouped, and you did good too. And let's do this again. The artist's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this again. And the sophomore album, meager results, lackluster. Did not do 10 million records. Did not go diamond. Did not do none of that. Barely went platinum. Then what happens? They become a tax write-off because they either get shelved, or they have to renegotiate a contract, or just get off the label and go independent, or do whatever, or give up altogether. We've seen that. We've seen that. We've seen that. The music industry and crypto, not quite as similar. It's just an analogy. Like, yo, you're gonna try to catch lightning in a bottle more than one. You already did the 10. Do it again, because this is where it's at. You did 10,000, right? You did it. It wasn't a community that just corralled and just, oh, the community just came together and they believed, and so organically, everybody took their money and just bought into this thing because it's just, oh, it was just that moment. You think that really happened like that? So now you have a L1. Now you have a DEX. Now you got a bunch of confusion that you're conjuring up because people are not confused. But you create this situation where people are distracted. You got sub communities and sub communities of people distracted because you got different P copy coins and core versus core and maxi and not maxi and P die, shmi die, all this die, whatever division, all this division, polarized to try to keep the attention away from you. This is why it's not working, because the more you try to run away is the more attention you bring to yourself. The more you try to run away, the more you try to hide, the more you try to pretend like you have next to nothing to do in anything, that you don't work for nobody, it's the more negative attention you bring to yourself. Seriously, because what you can't escape, what you can't escape is yourself. You could try to escape from the world. You could try to escape from this police agency looking for you. You could try to escape from whatever else. I could only imagine who else is looking for him. But you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me it's only publicly what we know that's looking for him? Why do you think he's right? Why do you think he's not making himself available? Because he it's not comfortable for him. That's why, oh, I'm safe and bulletproof. That's not a praise of, that's sad. That's devastating. Like, I'm not one to wish demise on that level on anybody. Like what's that? This is why I say, yo, no one forced him to put him in the position that he got himself in. No one forced him. And when you look at his checkered past, his experience in South America, where South America wasn't comfortable, wasn't sweet, but this is the shit that made up a sum total of who you've become. You dealt with corruption all the time. You became of corruption. Like, this is what you've become. Now you're in a situation where you're trying to make sense out of a situation where you're telling people no admin keys. Your thing is completely decentralized, but you got admin keys. That's why you made changes in your farms. You made changes with your nondescript origin address foolishness, staking everything for 15 years. Who's doing that? How are you doing that? You doing it. But you telling the world, no admin key. Don't use any ad, but unless you use it, it's fine. Everybody bad. Everybody using admin keys are bad except for you. The ridiculous, foolish nature of this guy, y'all. Because it's dangerous. Don't expect him to do anything for you. Y'all keep talking about, oh, you waiting for the sacrifice money. Forget about that. He didn't even buy his meal. Somebody from the community had to pay for his meal. The cheapskate. He said it on the stream. The same stream that he jumped on the stripper pole and spread wide eagle in front of men. He told the people there that he's cheap. Believe him, because look how he behaves. Believe that. He on the run for evading taxes, whatever they have against him, taxes, and for assaulting a kid. You can't even fight that for your own reputation and image. You don't care about that. It's not about that. You just want that story to follow you because it generates some kind of controversy where you can sell people pulse chain. You think that that's going to allow people to say, oh, damn, you wanted for beating up a 16-year-old, grabbing their hair, dragging them down the stairs, and punching them in the body, punching them in the face. That's interesting. What is he selling? Pulse chain? Let me buy pulse chain. You think that's how that gonna work? When they find out, when people really care to find, and that's if people even care. So you have a group, a cadre of individuals in the community now that call themselves being an influence, the influence of what we don't know, but they call themselves being influencers that are doing their best to keep the morale up. They're doing their best to not only keep the morale up. How are they going to keep the morale up? Introducing projects, introducing coins, right? For you to keep spending money, keep losing your money, and believing in them as if they should be trusted versus everybody else because they've been around the longest. They've been around grifting the longest. But y'all, many of you trust them. And all they're gonna do in the founder's absence, the founder taught them how to do this, by the way. The founder taught them. And many of them took it and ran with it. Ever since the chain launched, they ran with it. Oh, trust and believe. Some people made a lot of money off the chain already. They made a lot, and not in the fine ways that you'd like to believe. Not in the ways that regular people like you and I want to believe. Oh, organically. They just came and just, people just bought. They found the chain. They saw how magnificent it was. They like the colors of the chain. They like the people talking about the chain. They like what the chain does. And they just bought and spent money and prices went up and everybody made money. No, that's not how that goes. Hasn't been happening that way. If you're not a part of an inside group, if you're not an insider whatsoever, you're getting no burn, no love, no opportunity. You got to wait like everybody else. And wait for how long? Who knows? Don't ask when pump because you're not going to see it from Ricky Umar. You're not going to see it from him. If, in fact, if you see something from him, it's to save his reputation. It ain't to save you. It's just to save him. It ain't about nobody but him. That's it. It's not about anybody else. Because if it was about everybody else, he'd show his face like he loved to do. Like he loved to do. He couldn't help himself. You could tell this is a person who thrives, who feeds off of attention. This is what he does. This is him. And you cut that off is because there's a serious set of reasons why he can't do what he does. That's why all he got, and he'll tell you in such a bizarre, twisted way that he doesn't communicate on the internet, but the only outlet that we see that he uses is X. That either him or someone else, some slave uses is X. You think that's a comfortable situation for someone who purports to be the giving tree, someone who purports to be a billionaire, someone who purports to be a successful whatever in crypto, serial entrepreneur and all that? You think that's a good? You think this is? And then other people would make excuses and say, "Oh no, because how would you feel if you're creating a situation that you basically creating your own monetary system?" Yeah, that has its consequences. That brings a serious level of consequence. It sure does. It absolutely sure does. But what happens to people like Changpeng Zhao? Huh? What happened? Did he go hide? He got thrown in jail. He did his time. 4 months. Came out and paid a $4 billion ticket. And he's straight, quote unquote. I'm saying, like, yeah, and what happened? He still got Binance bubbling. What are you doing? What are you talking about? This guy, that's a peer, right? That's somebody who I would consider one of your founders' peers, like the peers of these blockchain heads, right? Right? What happened? Oh no, but you remember what happened to the guy, the Maker DAO guy? Yeah, you're gonna have serious situations. People are gonna lose their lives behind some stuff. Yeah. But what happened to Changpeng Zhao? You see how people don't address real shit? Like, in other words, if you're fighting a legacy system, some type of tyrannical governmental structure, central banking structure, and you're going against them, right? And your cause, your cause, we understand revolutionary and all that, but if your cause is really what it's meant to be, do you not think that you will garner some support to the level where you can also fight against the machine without having to cower, to hide, and tell the world that you're safe and bulletproof? Do you not think that you will have the support from the people themselves, like in many different ways, going against an oppressive entity, an oppressive body that's been existing here to continuously keep their feet on our necks. Do you not think you're going to get the support that you should? You should, right? If you're about this and the beginnings of all of this was revolutionary in nature and spirit for the people, not the banks, not the government, it's for the people, peer to peer, electronic cash, etc., etc. No, they would have to concede. They would have to concede because they can't get to you because you protected for real. But when you move wacky, when you move crazy, all you will engender is crazy. All you will engender is what you see going on. You don't think these central banks and these governments are conceding right now to Bitcoin? They don't know what to do. They got your man Larry Fink, right? BlackRock, Grayscale, whatever, whatever, whatever. They scooping it all up because they know they couldn't destroy it. It's done. It's a done deal. So they're like, yo, if we can't take this shit out, we're gonna buy as much as we can because we don't want nothing for the people. And guess what? There's always resolve. There's always resolve. The people find a way to make it work and create other systems to make it work too. Sometimes even better than everything else they're trying to scoop up because they lost. It's called balance. It's called a natural order of things. Use that to help you. But this motherfucker is so warped, so disturbed, so deranged and lost, so self-consumed in his own quagmire of bullshit, right? He's in a position now where he can't even show his face. And why do you think that is? You can't get your own militia popping. You can't get your own. What are you about? You about you. You can't get your own private situation, security. This I'm bulletproof and say, prove it, show it. You're about glory. You're about showing your face. You're about Mr. Popularity. This is what you engender. This is what you embody. This is what feeds you because you're a narcissist. So everything has to be about you. The attention has to flow to you, towards you. So show how glorious you are in your quest to attain maximum glory or whatever the F you want to do. But you can't do that because you fumbled the bag and you bit off more than you can chew. And you got no real protection as far as what you should have because there's certain things about him that's just absent and you see it. Every time you do a Christmas stream, it's just empty. There's no nothing religious about this dude in his body. You hear it in his voice. It's not his fault in that sense, because that's deeper than what you could understand and is not what I'm going to talk about here. But you could see it. Those who know, who have the eyes, who have the sight, who have the sensibility, understand what I'm talking about. If you follow this fool, this fool, and I call him a fool because it's like a fool will soon part with their bread. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that he's gonna lose everything, but he's lost many times. He's lost many times, right? Because the wisdom that you think he might have, he doesn't apply well. It's just knowledge. It's just information. His shit is just transactional, period. And he regurgitates what he talks about to make him seem like he believes it and he invented some shit to have you believe in everything he's talking about. But a fool will soon part with their bread, with their money, with their wealth. Keep continuing to act like you. If you say that you are what you are, if you say that you are what you are, then you should be free. That motherfucker ain't moving like he's free. Lee, I see you. Everybody in the stream, I see y'all. You know? Clash 716, what's going on? What's going on? Can't see what y'all saying right now because my phone is janky. He said, and we're wrecked. Nelson Acevedo. And we're wrecked. Oh yeah, it's not gonna set the mood of my day, Gandhi. I appreciate that. You know, it always sounds like it is mix. I see. It always sounds like it's us every time, and I appreciate that. Like it's you know, I leave it here. You know what I'm saying? Until I'm inspired to speak again. But every time I talk about my talk with this foolishness and this individual, I leave it right here, right? And then I'm like, oh wait, I gotta say some more. But my day is not hampered or affected because of this situation. Because trust me, bro, like you know, real life is real life. Real life is real life. But I say these things because people pretend like they don't listen, but they're listening. Pretend like, this whole thing about ghost the trolls, like block and mute people who don't believe, or the haters and the naysayers. That doesn't work like he would like it to work. It doesn't, because think about, like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, I'm glad I've been documenting and proud to have been documenting and speaking my mind about these things, because when I see other individuals do the same thing and I see the response they get similar to mine, it shows me that the masses want to continuously live in a state of denial, right? And when people find these things in the future, and should it interest anybody to do a case study, to study these things in some type of academic hall or institution, some school, university, et cetera, I aspire that one day, like, while they look at this cult, hive mind, tribal, destructive, toxic situation that's happening on Pulse, they'll find that everything was not unilateral. You know what I mean? Everything was not unilateral. That's how life is. That is just how things are. All things are dual in nature. That's just what I believe and understand. So everything was not unilateral here, and it's interesting because I could give you the perspective from being a non-believer to being somebody who participated in a situation to then realizing 360 degrees, full circle, what we're dealing with here. And that's why I give back and tell people my thoughts, whether they agree with me or not, whether people agree with me or not. But I'm going to speak from a level of just basic common sense. This is not even high level of anything here. This is basic common sense, bro. This dude is gimmick, marketing gimmick individual. That's all he is. That's all. And through the marketing and through the gimmicks and the clever tricks, technology, foolishness that he's about, he attracts money that way. Because that's how you could do people, even in the community, in the street, anywhere, in any walk of life. You tell somebody real something, 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 and make them feel like they need to buy something that you're selling, and you do it in a clever way, right? You do it in a way where you could basically, they could give you their confidence, and in return, you give them something that's not even close to what they're paying you. There you have what a situation where you have a con man performing accordingly, accordingly. And right now, the dude looks like the nastiest con man of all con men, because yeah, you guys got a win with the 10,000x. Yeah, that was a win. Doesn't mean it was all on the level though. Doesn't mean it was all 100%. And the other thing is, it's about being proven wrong too, because I don't mind being proven wrong. In fact, I would want to be proven wrong. I would want to be proven wrong from 95, 99% of what I've just said and my assessment about dude and how you running because you scared for your life. He's in fear of his life. That's the bottom line, y'all. It ain't about, no, he in fear of his life. He told you. He's not a person of the street. You could tell he'd be devoured. Anytime he talk about his issues in Panama, it's a stressful situation. You could see it. You could see it. You could hear it in his voice. You could see it. Very stressful. Because why? because you got caught up in some real gangster shit. And what happened? You're not of that. You're not of that ilk. You're not of that cloth. So stop acting like you know what you're doing and this and that, and it can't come to you. You know, this is what it is. He's far from all that. He's not of that. I'm not of that. But I can understand and see where his shit can go. You know, gangsters over here. Like, imagine. This is the shit too, man. This is the people. Like, it's all levels of this thing. Just because you see people, you don't know who people are. You don't know who's who. You don't know who's listening to you, who's laughing with you. You don't know. You just simply don't know. And when money's involved, it complicates everything. So you got people, you thinking you got folks like me, I'm just streaming and talking and building with the people. And you got other individuals that may not be doing that. They just, they're not on the internet at all, but they still invest. They still invest here and there. And then you got folks that are immersed with the building. They want to develop. They want to put out, good stuff, not grifts. They really want to build and do something quote unquote legitimate. And then you got others who just like, hey man, nah man, we gotta get our money back. And that's when it gets very dicey. It can get real dicey. You can't act like there's no people out here that are pissed off, that don't want to really go after and get their money. Don't act, don't pretend. Don't pretend. It's real life we talking about here, man. It's not fantasy. It's not fantasy. We're in a situation here where it's looking like the bull market is only a couple months left, y'all. So what you tell me? This chain is gonna miss a cycle? How you think that's gonna go over? How do you think that will look? You know, let this chain miss a cycle. You think what I'm talking about is crazy? You're really gonna have to pull out the popcorn, whatever snacks you like, and watch what happens on the internet for this guy. I don't even have to tell you what's gonna happen because I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do anything different. But I'm telling you, if Pulse Chain misses this cycle, you're gonna see things. Now folks are just gonna have, it will be another indelible truth, like, oh, okay, see, this is what it is. That's it. We got hosed, like, nah, this ain't it. Dude got us like that. Like, you gotta do, and then make the best decisions that's good for you and move forward. Because right now, until we see otherwise, until he captures lightning again in another bottle, and then don't tell me about no 10x is a win. Don't tell me about no 100x is a win. Don't tell me about no 500x damn near is a win. No, 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 no. Because you talk big talk, and I'm not gonna deny a 500x. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna deny, but a person like him with the braggadocious, that bravado, right? Obnoxious, right? Conceited energy that he displays. Let this cycle go, and you're talking about, oh, it only did a 10x. Let this cycle end, and let this cycle end, and Pulse Chain only did a 10x. Let this cycle end, and Pulse Chain still didn't barely do a 2x. It's a wrap. It's over for dude, man. It's over. Like, it's over. It's over. Just just know that, folks. Don't depend on him. Don't depend on him to return to do any stream. He's scared. He's running for his life. That's just what it is, man. That's what it boils down to, whether you accept it or not. Whether you accept it or not. Because you're not making right by these things that's in the air for you. You're not making right by that. And why is that? Why is that? You're not making yourself, showing, good faith and really doing none of that. Why do you think people say if he would have streamed, it would be a whole different situation? Why do you think that the prices are down, even though he quote unquote end quote, beat the SEC? Why are things still like this? Why are things still where it is? You got these whales in the community, all these whales in the community, all these sharks in the community, all these dolphins in the community, all these people with all these big bags in the community. And then the prices are still this depressed, have been suppressed for years on the chain. With the SEC win, with the SEC case win, meaning SEC lost the case. Why do you think that is? Anytime he posts the four coins having a 10%, 20% increase, Green Day, within the same day or the next day, it's the exact opposite. It's red, 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 and it stays like that for a long time. We haven't seen a good pump on Pulse Chain since January of 2024, right? The end of December, January 2024. That was the last decent pump. And you beat the SEC, and you talk about shipping container, and you got these people making conferences with abysmal views. Abysmal views. You got folks that the conference founder, shout out to Identity Block. Y'all don't respect him, but I do. Many do too, because he's kept the same energy the whole time. And I got to respect the person who does that. Identity Block posted on his timeline maybe a couple days ago. On his post, he captured the 4 days conference, the views, the 4-day conference, each day, right, of the conference that recently happened online. On that post, it's documented. 4-day total. Guess how many views was captured on YouTube? How many views? 4-day on a channel that has more than 10,000 followers. Guess how many views? Less than 1,500 views. It's been abysmal, abysmal, abysmal all across the board. Shout out to Chaos for even, using that word. It's been abysmal, abysmal views, abysmal. The sentiment is all the way low for this. Why do you think that is? You think that's for nothing? You think people are just like, they just buying the dip? Come on, man. Wake up. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. For whatever it's worth. There you go, mix. First thing a punk does is say that others are punks. That, I mean, you can see it. You can see it. The person who tries to talk tough, act tough. This dude, I'm gonna say this before I leave. The dude said in a weird way, your founder said, "Oh, he doesn't like to be around men, a lot of men, because when he gets around a lot of men, he wants to punch something." Shut up. What's wrong with you? You need to be in a padded room. What are you punching? You're not punching nothing. You punching a 16-year-old? Shout out to Mix Mix with that. Oh, y'all, I see Clash 17, 716, and Junk on Crypto going back and forth. Kings, King, Cringe Conference. Yeah, for sure. Yo, you guys, man, it's all love, man. I want to see y'all going back and forth in the chat. What y'all talking? Lee, I see you. Good day, good day. All right, y'all. Thanks for rocking with me, man. Like, what are y'all talking about? Clash, what are you talking about? Clash. Clash, yo, I get it, man. Like, listen, man. Like, Richard is one man and doesn't listen. Clash. He's one man who did not have to come out on the internet and tell people that everyone are idiots. That he's the giving tree. Like, y'all need to like really, really is bigger than that. He's the one man. Yeah, he's one man who controls 90% of everything he got going on Pulse Chain. Period. Like, and you got to deal with everything that comes with that. You got to deal with everything that comes with that. That's the whole point. And how he's dealing with everything that comes with that is what's being criticized, is what's being critiqued the whole time, because you got people who invested in the situation. And forget about no expectations and none of that. Everybody got expectations. You know, him telling the world he don't work for you, that was to avoid legal scrutiny. But he does work for everybody. Just like everybody who's streaming, in a sense, I'm working right now. I recognize, I acknowledge that. But this fool want to avoid, oh, how we test, how we test, all this, how we take. Are you scared? You don't want to pay any type of fine. You don't want to pay any type of anything, because you want to dress it up and say, oh no, this is about sovereignty. But it's a game. Like, enough of the games. We too old. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we've been around, and we're not for the games. You got people in my generation that are for the games, though. They pretend like they're not, but they're absolutely for the games. Let them be for the games. And they're in this community. They are for the games. I don't care for the games. That's why I say, if this dude was in the street, he wouldn't make it. Because this shit don't go. This shit don't fly. Like, you lucky you could be whoever you want to be online. Whoever you want to be online. And do a Where's Waldo, Catch Me If You Can, Leonardo DiCaprio situation. You could do that, because that's what it looked like he doing. Talk about RH not in charge of the world economy, bruh, bruh, bruh. This is where you missed. This is the thing. You say he's not in charge. Look, let's not pretend like he don't want to be in charge of the world economy. That's the point. And that's the whole thing. It's just completely comical. Let's not pretend that this guy don't want to be in charge of the world economy. There's a person who talk about he wants to create his own nation state in within a 5-year span. Let's not pretend that he doesn't want that. Nobel Peace Prize. Hex is better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is supposed to usurp the world reserve currency, the dollar. And if you create something that's better than Bitcoin, what are you saying? Like, stop, bruh. Yo, yo. Like, it is what it is, man. Later, y'all.